Hello again, everyone. This is Bryce Whitaker for the Gamer Lunch Break, and this is Bang the Dice Game Week. And yesterday morning, we interviewed Ricardo, the artist, for Bang the Dice Game. And today we have a couple of great guests. But before I get to that, if you are in North America and you are looking to get into Deckscape, you should ask your friendly local gaming store for the Deckscape demo. This is available to all gaming stores. You can learn about Deckscape and the way to play it. Just ask the clerk or the owner, and they'll walk you through the game, and you can give it a try. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Be sure to follow us on social media. That is Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Discord. And if you have questions today, please just put them in the YouTube comments and we'll get to them. But let me introduce our guests for today. They are the game designers for Bang the Dice Game, Michael Palm and Lukas Zach. Welcome to the Gamers Lunch Break. How are you guys doing?
Hello, Bryce. Thank you.
Hello, Bryce.
Very good.
It is great to see you both. As some Americans might be able to tell from their accent, they are not from around here. Where do you guys live? Michael, where are you stationed at?
I'm living in the south of Germany, so greetings from Germany and near the Switzerland.
Ah, Switzerland. Yeah, I bet it's quite beautiful there right now.
Yes, and good cheese.
Oh, good cheese. I'm always a good cheese fan. I love it. Lukas, where are you residing these days?
I'm coming from north of Germany. I live in Bremen, which is near the coast.
Near the coast. All right. Do you get a nice cool breeze right now?
Yeah, not nice, but cool. Yeah.
Not nice, but cool. All right. Well, everybody watching us on the stream can see the Bang the Dice Game right there is the core box. A great way to play this game. But first, I'd like to ask, you two are sort of the dynamic duo of game designers, the Batman and Robin, if you will. First off, I don't know which one of you is Robin. We'll get to that later. Oh, there you go. Well, let me ask the first question here, guys. How did you two first meet and knew you would work well together? Let's start with Michael.
Well, I like games, of course, like everybody here. And we opened a shop when we were students for guys for comics and games, the Sea Troll. And then I sold the games first, of course, and then we thought about own ideas, and we could design some games, but in a smaller way. Sure. And 18 years ago, Lukas wrote me a mail, and we met each other. We didn't know each other, but then we met each other, and it's a very good friendship, and it's a very successful teamwork. And now for 18 years, we are designing games for different companies, sometimes just our ideas, sometimes we are getting some special
requests for a license.
Right, thank you for a special topic.
Sure. Lukas, was this piece of mail that you sent Michael, was this a fan letter of any design work, or were you angry about a game he possibly sold you?
We talked about it before. Yes, it was 18 years ago, and I came up with the idea. I was designing a crazy robot racing game or something like that. I don't know. And I thought, okay, I need some advice of a experienced designer, and so I just went to my board game shelf and randomly grabbed a piece, a game, and it was Blood Race, by Michael Palm. And so
Not experienced game designer.
So I did a research at the internet, and I saw this guy, and I thought, I know this guy. I was in my holidays in the south of Germany, and I went to his shop, and he sold me a lousy game. I don't know the name. It was something like some Dragon Quest thing. I don't know.
I think it was one of the first game on Fantasy Flight.
No, I'm not sure. And I decided, yes, I write him an email to meet him, and he told me, yes, I'm in the north the next 2 weeks at a convention, and we release our new game. It was the Behind a Trading Card game, and so this was the beginning. And I like the Behind game very much. We had a community here playing it at my place, and so I made a lot of work for Behind first, and then we met in the south, and we started right away with our first game. I think The Devil's Castle, also published by DB Jockey.
That's great.
And now we work together via Skype 2 days a week, like normal people working together, I think, and yeah, it works.
So in this process, a lot of times with game designers, when they work in collaboration, it is, I'll work on this, you work on this. What is the breakdown on a project between you two? Are you looking at each other's designs? Are you creating one thing and another person's creating another? How does that collaboration work? Lukas.
Well, the part of the game design, we are doing both, of course. Lukas is very, very good in layout things and illustrations and colors and so on. And so to produce then a very, very good prototype for the companies, and in technical things too. And the first step will be that we are thinking about an idea for ourselves, and then we think, yes, this could be good, or Lukas may like it. We're talking about it, and then a lot of our work and a lot of our hours we are designing games is a discussion. It's a discussion. Just think about this. No, that should be more like that, and so on. That because important for us is that we not only publish a game, we want to publish a game with a great atmosphere, which that the Bang Dice game feels like a Western game, a Wild West game, and not. It could be also a science fiction.
Sure. And Lukas, do you also agree with Michael that the theme is where you start, and you really like to engage that?
Yeah, it's the most important thing. We really never develop from the mechanics. We develop first. We try to imagine what the story is, what the atmosphere is, what the setting is, and moreover, what the feelings are we want to create with the game. And after that, we think about mechanics. But this is the first thing. And also, the setting and all this makes it a lot of more easier to create intuitive rules. If you take something that is very known by the people from the reality, it's much more easy to explain and to remember than something you just create for the game.
Sure. You've heard it here first on the Gamer Lunch Break. We have just been told by two German game designers that theme is the most important thing. So you both are German, right? We want to make sure.
Yes, we
we are
are.
we are world citizens. That's it.
That's great. You know, I'm a big fan of Western style theme first oriented design. I think that comes from my role play roots. But when I sit down to play a game, I want to think that I'm the character. And a lot of times, games that revolve around points or victory conditions, it's not that they don't appeal to me. It's that it's hard to find your place in the theme of that kind of thing.
It is.
But yeah, let's go back though, if you can remember, because it has been a while. What stood out with the design of Bang the Dice game? Lukas, do you have any memories of that?
Well, it sounds a bit weird, but I dreamed the game. Sometimes it happens that we dream of an idea, and most of the time you wake up and you think about it, and you think, what a rubbish! It's never going to work. It's just crazy. But with this one, it was very promising, and I shared with Michael, and we discussed it, and we it was I dreamed of a Bang game, so it was the universe, because at that time we played the game, the card game, a lot, and we are very thankful to Emiliano for the original game, and
we are big fans of the card game.
Yeah, and it was such kind of game that was finished very quick.
So it just fell together. It just was like
it just
the dream was very good. The dream was very good. It was not a crazy. It was not a crazy dream with rainbows and so on. It was a good dream, and it was really, really near the game today. Of course, we had some more symbols. Then we designed some more symbols, for example, but the first prototype we had very fast on the tables.
Wow!
And then. Yeah, and then we tested it with friends, with family. We redesigned some mechanisms and so on. And then, Lukas, I think I was in Nuremberg on the fair. I was in Nuremberg on the fair. The toy fair in Nuremberg, here in the southern part of Germany, is just for shop owners and companies and so on, not for visitors, normal visitors and gamers and nerds. I passed by to Roberto from DV Jockey and asked him, "Hey, how are you?" and so on. And because we known each other from the coach ride to the Devil's Castle. And he said, "Yeah, everything all right." And I asked, "Do you have some ideas for the Bang Dice game?" And he said, "Oh yes, we have 2 or 3 prototypes on the table in Italy,
and two are very promising.
And 2 are very promising, right? And I called Lukas and said, "Oh, they have 2 promising prototypes on the table. I don't think that we should push a third in this line." And we said, "Okay, thank you for the meeting," and so on.
Yeah, so they refused it the first time because they already had 3, and then we thought of publishing it with someone else, and we asked
with another topic.
Yeah, with another topic. So we changed the topic to fantasy world with magic and so on, and offered it to another publisher. And but like we said, the atmosphere and the setting must fit to the mechanics, and it doesn't feel so good with the new theme. Um, it was like the something doesn't feel right, and so the publisher also say no, we don't want it. And then 1 year later or 2 years later, we met Roberto and his team in Essen on the fair, and we asked, "What about your promising dice game prototypes?" And they said, "Well, we're not really happy with them. We're something is missing, and we are not sure." And then we told them about our game, and they asked questions. Does it have this and that? And we said yes, 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 yes. And they took our prototype with them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And then there came a great mail from Roberto.
Yeah, 4 weeks, or we asked Roberto, have you the chance to play our game? And he wrote, "We played it, we liked it, we'll make it." And we said, yes.
Wow, that's pretty succinct and to the point.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Here it is. Yeah.
It's a very good team. Everybody's friendly and everybody is good working.
Yeah.
They have excellent editors, and they
Yeah.
are so they really polish it to a gem.
Sure.
So they test a lot. They have
Yeah,
so
the whole
much.
team, they made the last 5% or whatever they bring it to the top.
Yeah, they bring it to 100%. So this is really cool.
That's great.
Working together.
Silvano, who is our game designer on Decktative and Deckscape, did one of those prototypes, as we
know
saw
him.
there in the messages.
Yeah, we know him.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I would not be surprised at all if Silvano does a Bang game sometime in the future. Yeah. Barbara wanted to know, she says, we met for the first time maybe 9-10 years ago. How has your game design changed over the last years, in your opinion? And did you change as game designers as time went on?
Well, Corona changed a lot, of course. The last year changed the most, I think, because we are now testing our games via the internet, tabletop simulator or tabletopia and so on, different pages. And well, of course we are older and wiser, but
and more boring.
maybe we are not following every track we have with this idea and that idea and so on. I think we were, when you are getting older, you will be slow down, and of course the experience is bigger than 10 years ago, of course.
Is there a shorthand that comes from working together for so long? You can reference game mechanics, know exactly what you're talking about. You don't have to explain as much to each other anymore.
Yes. Yeah. True. Yes.
Definitely. And I think what comes up when you get more experience, you have the chance to see early if a game has big potential. And this is something that costs you very much time in the early years, because you cannot, you have to develop it very far to see if it works at the end. And so we have tons of ideas, and what we do now is we really make rapid prototyping, because talking about a game is nice, but you cannot imagine all the edge cases, and you have to try it out to get the feeling how the game feels when you play it, and you should do it as fast as you can. And this is something we do now. Also with the tools, so we don't have to cut all the cards and
Put it into
craft all
sleep.
the material. So we can do it very quickly now in tools and try it out. And this is something definitely changed over the years.
I think too, as we go on in the industry, we see games shelf life kind of shrink. Kickstarter teaches us to go here, buy this, play this, go here, play this, and you have to get in your space very quickly, and you have to get to your audience very quickly. But sometimes you have a game like Bang and like Bang, the dice game, that is able to kind of stay on the shelves for years. It's a perennial game, and I think that's when you see some things that are truly amazing in the designs and the way the game is looked at. You know, there's a lot of people out there producing games, and consumers go here, 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 and here, and by the end of the year, they've forgotten what they bought in January. But Bang and Bang the dice game have a popularity that just keeps it around. I mean, we're going on 20 years now of Bang the card game next year. What do you think it is about Bang the dice game? And I'll reference Americans because we are crazy for this. What is it about this game that you think it just makes us ravenous for it, makes us want to play it?
I think it's a light game. It's a game with not too many rules. It's a game where it comes just to what you want in the first second. The sheriff begins to shoot. Yeah, and you want to shoot, you want to bluff, you want to make alliance and want to break the alliance, of course. And this you have in 20 minutes. So it's an elimination game, and when you are waiting for a long time, it's not the funniest thing on an evening. We had a group of friends, and our running gag was that we are always shooting Cristiano first. Yeah, so he didn't play it anymore. Yeah, of course. So I think the Bang Dice game, you want to play it because you could play just another game and one other game. Okay, we have 20 minutes. Come on, let's play.
Yeah, Lukas, do you think the same?
Yes, I think it's a more or less a party game where you can play with your friends with a big group. And yeah, the last years there are a lot of party games coming out, but at this time there was King of Tokyo, of course. But I think this is a game you can just play it with so many people, with kids also, and yeah, and you are
pro gamers and just customer. Yeah,
correct. The pro gamers are the mechanics are not so deep, but it's fun also for them, and because you can kick out your friends and guess who is in your team, and I think this works quite good.
You know, one of the feedbacks that we get on this game is you can play it with family and you don't need to read. So you can bring in little kids to play. They have the fun of rolling the dice, and you can explain it to them without them having to read any kind of rule cards or references. Yeah, and I think that makes the game accessible to a much larger audience, particularly in the pandemic when you're dealing with being stuck with family.
5-year-old plays this game.
There you go. 4-year-old plays the game. There you go.
Yeah.
And what fun is it? I mean, when you can turn to a 4-year-old and bang, I mean, how fun is that? I mean, that's really where the excitement level is at. So
that makes us happy. That makes us really happy. When I'm looking in Instagram and I see some articles about Bang the Dice game, but with words and in letters I couldn't read because they are from Asia and from it makes us happy. That's it.
There you go. Yeah. Maria wants to know, what's your favorite character from Bang the Dice game? Do you have a favorite one, Lucas?
Let me think about it.
Of course, Sam the Healer.
Sam the Healer, yes.
Because
But I don't know the names exactly, but there's one guy who can deal. I have to look it up.
Do you remember what his ability?
Yeah, the effect was he can deal with the arrows. Maybe he's half Indian or something like that. And this is quite a guy that I play very often.
Michael, do you have a favorite one?
Well, I'm German, and of course, I like the guy who makes damage with the beer. During the Oktoberfest.
Maybe we should put an Oktoberfest card in the game. It's a promotional thing.
You could play it in the morning, maybe on Oktoberfest, but not in the evening. And the evening starts at 2 p.m. or something like this.
We used to give beer a life healing ability in many of our games.
Yeah, that's right.
So we also did it in the dwarfs and some others. Yeah, but we are not alcoholics or something like that.
Let's talk a little bit about you guys as gamers. Michael, what did you used to play? What was the game in your life that you played and you go, I'm gonna be a game designer? Was there one?
I don't know which game made me to a game designer. I know which game made me to a gamer.
Okay.
And this was, of course, Dungeons and Dragons. I had one grandma who played every time with me pure tactical games when I was 5 or something like this, and I couldn't win because he was a hard player. And then I had a so-called grandma in the neighborhood, and we could do everything without rules. So that's what was the fun for us kids. But then later on, there was a friend in my school. He came from Brazil and to Germany, and there in Brazil he played the English Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. So he brought the red box in English to Germany, and we played it with some friends and his mother and so on. And it was my world. It was, I know here, that's my home. That's my homeland. And then so I'm the player in my family too. And I have 2 brothers, and they are playing, but not as often as I do. And then the game design. Well, I could playtest the Vinci game. It's now the Small World. The Small World system was originally in a historian, not in a funny fantasy world, but in an historical world. And I could playtest it, and I could bring some ideas into the game. So I thought, oh, that's a good work.
Yeah. That's you bring that up. That's a lot like what Axis and Allies was for me. As a kid, you get this 1986 box Milton Bradley. You sit there and replay World War II, and then I'm sitting there tinkering with rules and creating all sorts of house rules, trying them out, trying to convince friends to play it, and that's kind of the origins of that. What about that for you, Lukas?
Well, the game I was fascinated the most in my early years was Citadels from Bruno Faiduti.
Okay.
This was a very fascinating game for me, with the character selection and the different roles and rules. We played it a lot, and I think this
the distribution was in constant.
For the German, great. And this, I think this is something that is also now in my game design work, because we like if you play a character yourself, and every character is different with different abilities and different rules. It's something we really have often in our games.
Most of the games are better when you put a little drop of role playing into the game.
Yeah.
When you're playing the red guy, okay, you are the red guy, I'm the blue guy, and he's the green guy, okay. But when the red guy is called, I don't know, like in Clue, for example, it has a name, it's a little bit better. But then when he has a special skill, or some numbers for sneaking or whatever, I don't want to make every game to a role-playing game, but this small part of role-playing game makes it better. And of course, it's in Bang the Dice game too.
Yeah.
And in Bang the card game.
You have when you create a character that you are, and then you have a name and a motivation, and then if you can build little interactions that happen between characters, it makes the game experience so much more vibrant and alive. Yeah. I love the way you guys look at game design. It's very similar to my own philosophy.
Thank you.
And I just love talking to you two. I could do it all day long. So what are we working on these days? Is there anything in the pipeline you can talk about, or tease us about, or maybe there's a particular design you want to talk about?
So currently we are designing a lot of work for how does you name it when you get a request from a company? So this is how does it called? An order. You get an order and you have a So what we do is we develop further our Undo series, which is very, very successful, and so we have to create new cases on and on. New stories, and we also work on for the Talisman brand, also very known. We have 3 spin-offs. One is already published 2 years ago, I think, the Legendary Tales, and we do a so-called living card game for it, and a dice game for it. This we are working on, and we are also working on our own ideas. And
Talisman was Talisman in the 90s was our jam. And I recently went back to play it in a we were kind of sequestered in a hotel in the pandemic earlier in 2020, and I hadn't played it in years. The game went on for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I go, well, we decided that we were going to play an annual tournament of Talisman. You had to play till the end. You couldn't quit. And you were gonna run around with a wagon, and you would have traffic cones in your wagon. That was your experience, and you'd have to go to different rooms to fight. So we are well prepared for this tournament that could be wacky fun if we can ever get it off the ground. We'll have to have you come to America and play. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Talisman was an important game for us too.
Yeah. It's You know, in the 90s, it has this reputation of being a little long, a little hard now, but that's okay. And in the 90s, it was so much our jam. Like, man, it was the game everybody wanted to play. And the nostalgia of that for me to sit at the table and play that 20 years later was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after Talisman, it was my experience was diplomacy.
Oh, so you don't have friends?
By mail. It was not an email. It was a letter. Sometimes by mail, sometimes on the table. Of course, it was great.
I played it only once, and I will never play it again because I hate the people afterwards.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But the few rules you have, for these few rules, it's a great game. It's
Yeah,
a great game.
it's a great feeling, and it's I definitely can remember it. But there are some games also. City of Horror, is that the right one? Where you also there's zombies and you have to decide which is dying next. For example, this is also a game. After that, you don't like your friends anymore.
And of course, Junta, of course.
Unta, yeah.
Yeah,
Unta was my favorite stab your buddy in the back game until Jeff Sidek created Lifeboat. And I don't know if you've got a chance to play it, but your character's in a lifeboat. There's someone you love. They got to get to shore to score points. The person you hate has to die. And you're all causing fights and arguing over what's left in the boat after a luxury liner goes down. And I love, Unta has this amazing round where you're hiding money under your hat or in your shirt. No one knows what you have. It tells you to hide it in the game. You're assassinating people. But then it has this weird moment where suddenly you're in a war game.
Yeah. You're right. These two kind of games inside.
It's not that the war game is bad, but it's all of a sudden you're like, this game just became something else.
In Junta, when you're going to the bathroom because you played 3 hours and then you come back and everybody is silent. And you're just watching. Why are they so silent? We're just thinking about our next. Okay. Yeah.
Is there other kind of that stab your buddy in the back games you like? You mentioned Diplomacy and Unta, or is there any more you can think of? Those two were on my list. I'm looking for ones that maybe I haven't played.
I think these are both the hardest way to stab in the back.
Yeah.
Junta in the top, and then Diplomacy. A little bit the old Kremlin.
Was that the Avalon Hill game? Yeah.
It was from a company in Switzerland, Fata Morgana. They brought it out in a pizza box, and it's a little bit, but not as hard as Junta, for example.
I remember that. I remember that playing way back in the day, and I think they reprinted it or did another edition not too long ago.
Hopefully, you're putting influence points, secret influence points on these old politician guys in Russia, in the Soviet Union, and you try to you win when your president, you have the influence on the president, is healthy enough that he makes 3 times the October parade and so on. It's great.
Yeah, I remember that. That was such a great game.
We are old, aren't we?
Yeah.
Not as old as these politicians, but yes.
We are talking about games from the 80s and the 90s.
We got a note here from Martin. Could you in Martin? Now they haven't worked on this game for a while, but I will ask them this question and see if you guys can remember. Could you explain the rule about the zombie master and zombie outbreak? what is his starting life points? You guys probably don't remember that, do you?
I don't have it now in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. Martin, I'll tell you what, Martin, we will get back to you. We will have someone.
Yes, and
look
Martin,
that up
we
for you.
could say that we tested a lot
Yeah,
with the zombies. A lot with the zombies.
yeah. What do,
Most was the zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you guys remember best about that undead expansion?
Excuse me?
What do you remember most about the undead?
The zombies.
The zombies, yes.
Definitely the zombies. Because everything else, the other modules are quite,
Yeah. Yeah, Ricardo's art is up there right now. He did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on that.
looks very great. Looks
It is
very
Great
great.
illustrations.
We like
So-
the zombies and
So we have a question now,
Okay.
Bryce.
All
But
right.
not for you, for the others who are watching. What are your wishes for the third expansion?
Ooh. Wow, that is a great question.
I really want to know that.
Please, no unicorns. No unicorns, please.
So if I had to say while we're waiting for people to respond,
Yeah.
I have a unique connection with all things Annie Oakley. She, my family, my great grandfather were neighbors to her family. They helped to raise her little her little sister, and they would go hunting. My great grandfather would go hunting with Annie Oakley, and we have this rifle that was given to us by her
Wow.
several generations ago. But anything like that, Wild West show oriented, or anytime you get a good Western story, whether it's revenge or robbing banks or all of that, I'm always in for that.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to check real quick. Silvano suggests Bang the Dice game Time Travelers.
Okay.
Now this could be a IP a license with maybe Back to the Future 3. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Flash Gordon, Back to the Future, yeah, and Star Trek, of course.
Oh yeah.
Star Trek Discovery. Okay, sounds interesting. No, it sounds interesting.
All right, if anybody else is out there, we're about to close the show, but we'll take any last-second questions if you have them. I've been interviewing Michael Palm and Lukas Zach today from Bang the Dice game. These guys are quality game designers, some of my favorite people. Let's see. Anybody else? We'll wait just a couple seconds here. Barbara suggests an expansion about outlaws and the bad guys, because who doesn't like a good bad guy?
Okay. Oh, yes, Barbara likes the bad guys. Okay,
yeah. We can talk about a title here, but I think Bang the Dice Gang, Black Hats is a good title maybe. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to wrap up today's show. I want to thank Michael and Lukas for being here. It is a pleasure, guys. I hope you will come back. I hope if you get over here to America, you will look me up.
Saloon fight. Yeah.
We thank you, Bryce. It was a pleasure for us, and greetings to the States and to Canada and to everybody who is watching, of course, to Italy.
Yeah, thank you for having us at your show, and please feel free to give us another invitation to talk about creativity or whatever.
We will definitely have you back on the show. All right, folks, if you're looking for a crew versus crew Deckscape or Detective Nightmare in the Mirror, you don't have to wait much longer. By the end of the month, you will be able to get these titles from your friendly local gaming shop. I'm Bryce Whitaker for Michael and Lukas. I will see you next time on Gamers Lunch Break. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Ciao.